Hello, 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 hello. I hit the wrong button once again. I will get it right. Been playing around with things this week, trying to make things better. Uh, we are live. How are we all doing? Like we're live. Hope you like the little bit in the middle with the on-air sign. I'm gonna try and make that a little bit better if I can. It would be good to do so. Because I always forget to do bits. It's always one of those good things to get started. Now, this week's a difficult one. It's a weird one because there isn't much in the way of news as such. The bits and pieces, but there's not a lot. So I thought this week would be a good episode of this to talk about Darren Moore. Let's just talk about Darren Moore as a whole. As it come to his 2-year anniversary this week. If you're new here, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I much appreciate it. Liking helps the algorithm. Like the video, it really does help it. Let me get the analytics up so I know. And yeah, it's Darren Moore's 2-year, and it's weird. It's very strange. If I can find the episode, we'll play it because there is an episode of a YouTube channel that I was on. If anyone's got the actual exact date, I know it was, and I did something really funny in this episode. And hang on, I need to bring up your comments a minute. I can't see it. We'll just put it over there. Now I can see comments. So yeah, it's weird because it was strange when we brought Darren Moore in because we all saw this as a bit of a, is this going to work? Before I get started on everything, hi, Big George, Fire fan. I am indeed, as is most people. Evening, Jed the Giant Chicken, how are you, mate? How's your week been? Evening, Nat, how's your week been? Hope you're all good. Evening, Lee, hope you well. I saw you went to Wakey Wines. Was he there? Was he there to sell you some Prime, or did you get scammed? How that bloke made so much money off energy drink is unbelievable to me. I will not ever understand how he's done it. He's really managed to monetize off it, and I'm going to call it what it is. It's impressive. For me, I thought it was a very impressive one. Let's see if I can find this episode I want. Oh, come on. Is it here? Nope. Where is it? There is one. I know there is. There's that one. Not that one. I will have to find this next time. I know it was around March. Oh, is this it? That's not it, but that could have been it. Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? You didn't want to go in and get some views? You've got some views for your channel, Lee. Right, I've met Abdul. Don't think he fits your football ground hopping situation, does he? But yeah, it's been 2 years this week. I will find it next week about the video because it was very funny. I basically came in with a big picture of Darren Moore's face on the back of the green screen I had at the time. I may even have it in a WhatsApp message, so I might be able to send it to the to my stuff and see if I can get that to work. But when he first came in, we were all a little bit concerned because it was a good appointment when you think about what you're doing and what you're trying to bring in, kind of thing. You want that kind of person coming. And I reckon if Darren Moore didn't get as ill as he did, I think it's a different story. He probably keeps us up for me because he had all the stuff to do it and get it right. Oh, hang on, it might have been that episode. Let's have a look. Is it that episode? No. He had all the right stuff to get it, just to get it right, didn't he? And you think he's going to do this, he's going to manage to get this all sorted. And he never did. And I still think it's due to the fact he was not given the time to bring in what he wanted in terms of like setting it up and setting up the way of thinking. I don't know about how you guys feel about Darren Moore when he first came in. Because let's ask the chat. How did everyone in the chat feel about Darren Moore when he initially came into Wednesday as a whole, kind of thing? Because I think some people had a bit of a optimistic about him coming in and a bit worried where we were going as a club, which I kind of get. I do understand that. That does make sense. I'm not going to lie. That does make sense because you're thinking you want someone in. So it would be interesting to see what people thought. If I can get this into here, it would be good. Where can I put it in? Can I put it in studio?
Paul Higginbotham.
Wait. Stop there. Wait. Stop there. Come on.
Good evening. We've been waiting for him for a while. Jake is here. What a man.
Right on cue.
Oh, we've now got Sheffield Wednesday in the house. We are buzzing now.
Because I think when a lot of people came in, we were a bit like, it felt like we were already talking that we were going to down, weren't we? Kind of thing. I'm going to wake you wine now. Bye. See you later, Big George. Bye, a fan. Go meet Adele. Go meet him and get your Prime at a ridiculous amount of money. Right. They did work. All right. Okay. I'll have to see if that works. That was a video of me first coming on Lee Charles' channel when Darren Moore got announced. If I can get it to work, I will. I might see if I can get it to work now. I'm always not that great at doing it on the fly. No, I don't think I'm ever gonna tuck Prime. It just sounds a bit naff. I'm not gonna lie. It sounds really, really naff. Because I respect the hustle of both KSI and Logan Paul for what they've done and how much money they've made off it. But at the same time, it's not for me. They have an audience. It's 13 to 16-year-olds. I'm definitely not that audience. I'm 35. Let's see if I can get this video to work. Because if I can get this video to work, it'll be great. Because I can't seem to find it on the person's channel. Because it was a really good way of seeing what happens. But he came in, and I think we were all set to say we were going to go down to League One. Now, if you remember, Darren Moore got coronavirus and got pneumonia. There is a lot of comments on my channel at that point that was saying, "Oh, he's not ill. He's not ill. He should be in work. Why is he not at work? He should be at work. If he can manage from his bed," and all this kind of rubbish. All the time. I remember it clear as day. It was constant. It was constant saying this. Now you read the stories that he had a 48-hour nurses critical care lot around him. Makes you go, that was a bit misjudged by some people, wasn't it? Because I think if he doesn't get ill, he keeps us up. And then we're having to prep for League Championship and not League One. I think he would have kept us up because he was starting to play some really good football. I'll go mad if I pay £5 a pint. Yeah. They were starting to play some good football under Darren Moore, like really good football. And then he got ill. Jamie Smith came in and did an okay job. He did what it needed to be. But then you had the situation where Darren got ill again. You had all the usual stuff. But Bannon doesn't miss that penalty as well. Again, Bristol City were probably up. You spent £100 on Prime Energy. wow, you spent £100 on an energy drink. I can understand spending 100, 200, maybe £300 on like a 10-year-old whiskey. And granted, you probably can't buy whiskey. That's insane, mate. I wouldn't pay £100 for something that's going to be... That's ridiculous. Wow. Oh, wow. And you wonder why Logan Paul and KSI are making a lot of money. Jeez. Fair play. Your money, do what you like, mate. I'm not gonna say no to it. I spend a lot of money on like camera equipment and stuff. So each to our own. But when Darren came in, you got that whole thing where blue steel's not. Has anyone been able to get any blue steel yet? I haven't seen it apart from the club. It's like when we had the energy and elevate stuff. We couldn't get the elevate stuff either, could we? It was just like stuck to that. If there was one manager I want to see win promotion or league title, it's more Darren Moore, a true gentleman legend. He's really nice bloke as well. He got time for a lot of people. So he goes down to League One. That first season, let's be fair, was a little bit rough. Let's be honest, we were having to bring in players. We brought in the right players, but we were trying to find where we were as a team. And I think it's a bit fake products. I've seen it on eBay though. All right, fair enough. I think it's that whole thing when you look at what we did in that first season under Darren Moore. He brought in threes. He brought in as much as he could. Were some of those players right for Wednesday that first season? Probably not. Probably not, but he was having to get whatever he wanted with no money. It was like going to like the reduced section when you're really hungry and you really want something like, I don't know, a ready meal, or you really want to see if they lobbed any steaks or chickens away in there because they're going to go out on that day. And then all you find is a king pot noodle and that's it. And you don't want to have a king pot noodle. You want to see if they had any discount of meat that you could cook. But that's all they had in the reduced section. But that being said, what he brought in was good. You look at Marvin Johnson now. You look at Berahino really should have kicked on. And I don't know why he didn't kick on, but he just didn't. And he had to work with a lot of the players that was already there. This is the first time I think Wednesday's had a situation where he had about a week to get most of the squad together. Did well, I reckon. Yeah, he did. I think this is the first time we've actually seen a manager have his own squad. Because if you notice, we've always cobbled squad together with what Carlos had left over. There was always some part of Carlos in the team. I think now it's Barry Bannon, Palmer. I think actually, is it Barry Bannon, Palmer? You know what? I think that might be actually it. It was always had that. Is it nice, mate? Big Joe Bayer fan. Because I've seen you post that twice. You look at this squad. It knows how to win things now. It knows how to win games. It knows how to defend. It knows how to dig deep. How many times this season have we said that if we played the game last season, we would have completely lost that game? I'm interested to see at the weekend if Lee Gregory starts. I think a partnership of Lee Gregory and Michael Smith will work well. Be interesting where you play Windass in that. I'll be very interested to see where people would play Windass in that. Because that's an interesting partnership. Do you play him as like a 10-stroke winger? I personally don't know if we play Reece James tomorrow. If he's fit, play him. But it sounds like he wants to see what he's like in the morning. Kind of thing. And don't get me wrong. If we're going against Peterborough has just started to have that little bit of form again. Did you see the Charlton player throw a punch and the Peterborough player get a red? Yeah, I did see that. If the problem is, if the Charlton get a 3-match ban like Johnson, I don't know, because it was a straight red and he got sent off. I think because ours didn't get done in the match, I think it's different, but it could still go to the FA. for violent conduct and get a 3-match ban likewise. So it will be interesting there if that does happen. I would be interested to see what Darren Moore does with this team sheet on Saturday. Because we are getting to the point where... Is it this week or next week? From the 17th onwards, it's... Yeah, 17th onwards, it's Friday, Tuesday, Sunday, Wednesday, and Saturday. And then we go back to a little bit of normality to a point until Easter weekend. Wait, 2 games back to back. So it will be interesting. We got to keep ourselves very level-headed. Because I know I did a video this week saying how many points do you think we're going to get from the games. Now, that isn't my usual kind of video. I don't normally do a video where I ask for a prediction. I never have done really because I don't like predicting things. I think it can come back and bite you in the backside, and I don't like that. Let's have a look. We have 3 games on Sky, Barnsley, Forest Green and Oxford. Yeah, it'd be interesting what we do against Oxford. It depends who Oxford appoint because they're still looking for a manager. And you forget how long Carl Robinson was at Oxford for. He was there for like 5 years. And that's a long time in football when you think about it. Remember that Barnsley fan come? I do, that's why I did a video on it, mate, because it confused the hell out of me. I had no idea what he was on about. It just really confused the hell out of me. What do you think? When the comments that I like or comments that seem a bit daft, they're going to get made into little short videos at times. So it'll be good. We shall not lose for the rest of the season. Record breaking season. Big ask that we're all Wednesday, aren't we? I understand that. I do understand the sentiment, but I love it. Don't get me wrong. I think every Wednesday fan would take that right now. If you said you had a magic crystal ball and you went, are we going to lose? Done. I'd be like, brilliant. And it says, no, you're going to go unbeaten for the rest of the season. That'd be brilliant. But the one thing I like about what Darren Moore said is they don't look at records by the sounds of it, the lads. It sounds like they are doing very much what Darren Moore says to do. Darren Moore says we go game by game. 1 game at a time. 1 game at a time. 8 people in the watching this. 4 likes. Please get the likes up. I'd much appreciate it. And YouTube didn't say save something again. Oh, the website, I tell you. It does not save things at the minute. It's getting really bad at that. It would be nice to get 100 points and be safe in the knowledge that we're up. The problem is we have got some good teams we're going to be coming up against in March. You're thinking the likes of Barnsley, Bolton, Pompey on a little bit of a resurgence. There's some good teams coming up and we just got to play our game. I think you bring in the likes of Gregory now looking like he's wanting to properly kick on. And that's not me saying Gregory wasn't kicking on beforehand. That's basically me saying Gregory has had a on-off season. I think if Gregory had the season he started with last season, it would have made a massive difference to it, if that makes sense. I think there's a lot of stuff to be said about this team at the minute and how Darren's got on playing. Let me just open that tab up a minute because there might be something news related we could do. Thinking about it. There's a lot of things riding on the next couple of games, and a lot of people made funk the voice of reason are starting to believe. I'm the same. I am starting to believe, but I don't want to put it out there as such. I want to take it game by game. I don't want to get myself too high. I don't want to get myself too low. I want to be at an even keel where we just keep going and we take it 1 game at a time. Because this club sounds very much like when the first potential thing that happens, I'm not going to say it, that the team that's in there, they're not going to see it as a bad thing. They're just going to go, well, it was going to happen at some point, but it's happened and we move on. And I think this team's learned a lot of lessons from last season. There's a lot of players who were in there last season. I think Josh Windass is a completely different player to what he was when he was in the championship under Moore. Even though it was a couple of games, he changed the way of playing. They look. When we go a goal down, we try and go next game. Right, we'll go get how many more. What I will say is, I would absolutely love for us to score more goals. Because at the minute, we've gone from that bit of not scoring as many goals as we once were. There's an interesting thing here for Darren, for Josh Windass here, because Josh Windass is coming up to 100 games in a Wednesday shirt. And at one point, we didn't think that was going to be happening with Josh Windass. We all thought he might have been going elsewhere to, where was it? Was it Argentina in the summer? For him to reach 100 games is superb. Drinking game, by the way, if you've heard me say superb, you have to take a drink. That's the rules, not my rules, workos. But I said superb, you got to take a drink, you don't have to then. I want to actually have a look. How many games did? Yeah, I don't see. Oh, yeah, because he was on loan, wasn't he? So he will have, yeah. Wait, that doesn't sound right. Yeah, it'll be his 100th game for the club, which is likely to see him rack up 100 games for the club. So when Josh Windass was at Accrington Stanley, Rangers and Wigan, 75, 55, 54. He never really had that kind of thing. So it would be interesting to see what he does there. By the way, if I look that way, I'm looking at a screen. I do apologise. Yeah, definitely not. I think it would be good for the title. It would be nice to have either the title wrapped up by the time we play them. It'd be nice to have it all done once it's all wrapped up, to be fair. Let's be honest. It'd be nice going into that last game knowing all we got to play for is the pride of just seeing what point total we got. And it's this strange thing. We got to be careful because we can't rule out Plymouth. We can't rule them out. But if we keep going on this little run, I say little, it's 4 months old. If we keep going on this run we're on, and we keep winning, we can do a lot of good to just get further away from them. And this is the thing. You noticed how Barnsley had their little dip in January. Ipswich had a mini one in January. Plymouth are having a tiny one now, but depending on who they got at the weekend, it'll be interesting because for me, it's when and if they lose their next home game for me. That Plymouth have got Charlton at home at the weekend. Now, Charlton, I thought, were okay. They got a draw against Peterborough this week, so they could get another draw. A point for us is superb. You look at the games, teams around us. Ipswich have got Burton. Derby got Shrewsbury. Bristol Rovers have got Barnsley. Bolton have got Morecambe. And with how Bolton are playing, you can see Morecambe being a bit worried about that and it being another goal fest kind of thing. Let's have a look. I think Windass knows which side he's bread buttered on, and I'm glad his dad wasn't out. Yep. It'll be interesting to see what we do in the transfer window in the summer, because I think Darren Moore got a lot more connections than people give him credit for. I think recruitment-wise, it's going to be really good to see who we put a contract in front of, who we talk to. Because right now, I kind of like that Darren Moore's approach was, let's not bring anyone in January. I like that his approach was, we're not bringing anyone in because I don't want to bring them in for the sake of it. I liked that approach. I don't know about you. It was the right approach because he couldn't find what he wanted out there. And I'd like to see what Darren Moore can do in the Championship with a bit more money. And also, remember, let's give Chansiri a lot of credit. He's had his critics. He's had his people that don't like him. Let's be honest. He's had a lot of abuse on social media at times, and it's not been great. So I'm happy that Moore and Chansiri are working together. Yeah, it's. I think Chansiri's still in the country. I think he's still at the Marriott. Everyone knows that. That's not a trade secret either. Everyone knows that he goes there. I think the relationship they got is built on the same kind of respect with what's going on, if you know what I mean. They respect each other, they understand what's going on, and try and... How do I put this? They try and respect one another and know what the levels are to talk to each other. Like, they both workaholic by the sounds of it. It both sounds like they are massive workaholics. And if anybody ever came for Darren Moore under contract, I would love to know what Chansiri put his release clause is. Because you look at some clubs have in the past put release clauses in, pay so much money for them, and then sack them because they pay so much money for them. It's just a good feeling to be a Wednesday fan of it. Yeah, it's hands up if it feels weird at the minute that it's a strange one at the minute for Wednesday, because it feels very, very odd. I'm not used to the fan base being together as much, and I'm not used to the fan base being quite positive and not overly negative. There are still some that are negative, don't get me wrong, but it's weird. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? It's I like it, don't get me wrong, it's a lovely feeling to have, but it's strange because we're not used to it. And this is what Darren Moore have brought back. I'm old enough to have been here before just to enjoy it. Yeah, like when I got into Wednesday, it was 96, 97-ish season, like properly supporting Wednesday. I went to games before when I was little, but didn't understand it. Nice to go on the 72 review and beat well of Wednesday. It is, isn't it? It's nice to... Lee, when we used to do the Football Vlogger podcast, or when we went down, that was awful. It was absolutely awful, because each time I kept on saying, can we end football games at the 60th minute with everything that was happening every time? And it's nice to talk positive. But it's also nice to see other fans speaking positive as us. Depends which fans they are, actually. That's a good point. Liam made a good point. Every Sunday, 6:30 p.m. 18 Dapper channel. Hey up, lad, from Barnsley. Barnsley fan Moore didn't do well at Barnsley. Was it at Barnsley? I didn't know. To be honest, oh, you mean when he was a player? Yeah. Hey, Ryan, how are you, mate? We see you in the EFL 72. I'm looking forward to when we play you guys. It'll be a good game. You did well against us at Hillsborough. Hopefully turn up a little bit more against you at your place. But how are you, mate? Are you having a good evening? It's an interesting one going forward, because then again, you had Malik Wilkes, didn't you, at Barnsley, and that didn't work out. And then he went to Donny and he went to Hull and it worked out. Some players just don't, really. And I think when we appointed Tony Pulis, I'm pretty sure Darren Moore was on the list of potential replacement managers at Barnsley. Correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong there, but I thought he was. I thought he was lined up for it. Hey up, Alex. Hope you well. Thank you, man. I much appreciate it. I just keep having fun, keep grinding the subs up and just enjoying it. I've been doing this for a long time now, and I like doing the lives. I'm trying to make these a little bit more regular. If I can try and do these maybe twice a week, depending, I might try and do a video, a review, and then maybe after the review, after the game, put a live up the next day to talk about it with the community instead. if that's something people will be up for, I'd love to. Can't stay for long, but came in to give a like. Thank you, Maple Leap. I hope you're well, mate. I hope the weather's okay over there, and I hope you're doing well. Thank you for dropping in and dropping a like in. I much appreciate it, mate. You know that. Yeah, not bad. Can't wait to do the vlog Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Oh, it's gonna be an interesting one, isn't it? It's gonna be interesting. Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm just plodding along. Today was a difficult day with seizures, but I've managed to stay in bed most of the morning to try and sleep it off, and it did its job. So I'm up, I'm awake, I'm doing stuff. That's the main thing. There's a rule I have. If you don't know, I have a condition called functional neurological disorder. It's like epilepsy, but it doesn't have the side effects of. It doesn't have the brain waves as epilepsy. So if you're on Spotify and you want to learn about my disorder and what it is, I do a podcast on it called It's Me, It's F&D. It would be if I could learn how to spell. This is my YouTube highlight of the work. Beers and Wednesday chat, great work. Thank you, Nat. I much appreciate that, mate. You know I really appreciate those kind words. Why can't I find my own bloody show? Copy show link. So, if you could do me a favour, people who are in here, if you want to learn a little bit more about what my condition is, I talk about it in depth here. Please go and leave rating for it as well. Much appreciate it. But that is part of what is wrong with me, basically. And I started doing the videos originally because it felt like therapy. It gave me something to do. But when I'm bad like this, I have to... What's the word? I have to kind of like self-regulate. And one of the things I say in the podcast at the end of each podcast is, and it is to anyone who's like chronically ill or going through depression or anything like that, if you got out of bed in the day, you're winning the day. Anything else is a bonus. And if you need to go rest. Because I think there's a lot of people who try and white knuckle stuff, and there's something you can't white knuckle. Like if you feel depressed, if you feel like you need someone to talk to, my DMs on Twitter are always open if people need help. Been there, got the t-shirt, keep getting the t-shirt, keep having to pack it away. And I think if we can have more people on a platform like YouTube, like the FL72 show, more people that can talk to people, it would be good to like just get things off their mind. Been a tough week with my autistic son going to school, but he has been, and it's a new week. Oh, bless him, mate. I know how you feel, mate, because I've got two nieces and nephew who are autistic, and I have a little brother who's autistic as well, and it's hard on the family, but you celebrate their wins like they're the biggest thing in the world. And what's the word I'm trying to say? Apart from saying credit to you and your missus for all the hard work you do with them to make their life as normal it is for them and everything. I think there's a lot of things when people have YouTube channels or Twitch accounts, how they want to just get the clout and go. And I think I never wanted clout. I never want that. I started doing this because I have a passion for Wednesday. 11 years later, I'm still doing it. And yeah, comment section can be mean, but it's how you handle it. You've got to have a thick skin. Some are worse than others. You've seen in here in the past when I did the shirt reviews with that idiot that came in having a go at me about me being on benefits and saying what I can and can't spend my money on. I saved most of my money from YouTube to buy those two shirts, and that was my money. And I think this is the weird one for you. Let me read some comments. Hats off to you. You make your work and passion for charity is remarkable with what you're going through. You really make me want to puff myself even more. I am absolutely open for you. You too, mate. You know that we've had DMs in the past, and the same, mate. I much appreciate it, and you are absolutely smashing it. If you can go give around the grounds a like, he does ground hopping videos. He's also a Wednesday fan, and he's got some really good insights on really good grounds. And Lee will tell you, if you want the best fish and chip shop, go to Rochdale. So far, I think that's his winner. I think, I'm not going to lie, Lee, you need to start having a section on your vlogs that is what is top-notch takeaway food or chippies at grounds you've been to, and do like a rating system and see if anything beats it. Here, Punk. Completely agree with you. Go take care of yourself and each other. Thank you, Maple Leaf. Much appreciate it. Cheers, Big Joe Bayer fan. It's a weird one because I have days with the F&D and doing this channel, and my other half and mates of mine always tell me, and they always tell me to shut up when I say this, that I don't work hard enough. I think I'm lazy. And it's not a case. That's just my way my F&D can make you feel. It's one of those things. Oh, yes, it's definitely... Lee, why don't you do that as shorts? That might be a good one to do with shorts. You could have your shorts you could do a short every week with a league table of takeaway stuff, and just have it written on a whiteboard behind you, and just write who the new leader is or something, and go from there, and then you can take someone. You remember when they used to do on the Top Gear, they would do the track around the track time around the lap time. Like that on a short. I think that would work really well for you, just rating the takeaway stuff. I think that would be a really good little series to do on your YouTube shorts. So you've got that to look forward to. Just a different way. Don't fancy New York Stadium hot dogs. No. Now, to be fair, I think some of the things that you can get from making a vlogging channel or a fan channel is superb. I think you can I've made so many friends who I've met in real life or haven't met in real life yet, and they become my closest friends. Barnsley under 18, top of the league. Now, you have a very good very, very good academy at Barnsley. It's something I've always been a bit jealous of. You are always able to get players out your academy into your first team, sell them on, get massive sell-on fees, and then keep it going. It's something Wednesday need to learn. But your academy, good. Ryan, who at your academy should we all be looking at or waiting to see good things from in the next couple of years? Because you have got an excellent academy. What I wish I was. I noted with food, the lower teams is better for food. Good point. Very true. Very, very true. The lower league stuff is better. Lee, but would you say the lower league food's better due to not having to do too much on a mass production scale at times? Maybe. I've noticed, I've read that. I've lived on the wrong side of the penny for 38 years, and frankly, it's bloody hopeless for chippies. They don't understand the power of lard. You're not wrong. It's getting hungry now. I'm gonna have to have some food in a bit. I've already eaten today. Well, I'll have me dinner. But I think there's a lot of things going right at Wednesday at the minute, and that we can have. I love how they can turn into a completely different chat, and that's why I like these live streams. They turn into a bit of a ramble, and I love that because it can change the topic and how everything goes. Yeah, I completely agree. The less audience easy time. I just chuck some chips in chip butty time. Oh, don't blame me, mate. Lee, if you ever go to see Wakefield AFC, I'll get you drinking. There you go, Nat. You've got someone. Lee, you've got someone to go to another ground if you haven't been there already and chalk it off. Don't know any under 18. What about your under 21s, Ryan? Do you know any of your under 21s? Because we've got decision time coming up actually soon about which player we're going to let go and which player we're not going to let go. And I saw someone today actually say like, "Oh, why is this a story? Oh, the professional footballers, if they're not good enough, they should go." Right? Now, you've got to remember that for a young lad who's playing in an academy, this is his job. So imagine turning around to someone who's doing a job and then you've been told you've got to leave now because you got to go find another job. It's the same thing for footballers, but it doesn't get talked about as a job. It gets talked about as it's a privilege. And I think sometimes you have to remember it's still a job. No, I'm actually off there next season as they move ground, don't they? So we'll definitely have to fight there, my friend. That's good. Hey, I like that. But yeah, there's a couple of academy players who are already in our first team. I think the interesting thing, there's a couple of academy players for Wednesday who are on. I think they're on contracts that run till 2025, 2026. Which is interesting for because we never really ever give anything like that. What games you playing later, Jake? I don't know yet. I haven't decided yet. I'm tempted to be a bit of a geek and play some Farming Simulator. Tempted. Because it's a nice game to chill out to. I have been grinding Call of Duty though. I have been grinding Call of Duty recently and FIFA, but I'm ready for FIFA to change and be different because I'm so sick of it being the same thing every sodding year. It doing my head in. If you lot want to see it, I will try and bring the trucking stream back. I just need to try and figure out how to do it because the videos go on to different websites and I don't want to put it on a Wednesday website or footballing website and even the lives are on there now. And I don't want it to suddenly like get to them and say, can you please just do it for this? I need to figure it. Yeah, I agree for the path forward. Yeah. It's that whole thing, isn't it? FIFA is one of those things you complain about it every year, but every time it comes to the new release, you buy it. You just buy it. Second place, we beat them 4-2. Nice. Anyone that beats Sheffield United is happy. Except Spurs. Spurs can get in the bin. Spurs, what were you doing? How did you mess that up? But credit to Sheffield United, don't get me wrong. But Spurs, come on. I said in the chat on Twitter with Lee and the guy funding the 7-2, don't be Spursy. What did you go and do? You were Spursy. That did my nutting. I'm glad I didn't put a bet on it because I nearly did. And there's only one noise I can play for Spurs. Though farming simulators too, the government compulsory purchased all my land and turned them into solar farm. Yeah, I had that. I also had it when I was playing Farm Simulator. I moved to a different farm on the map and I accidentally sold the old farm and I didn't take any of my equipment out. And I sold all my equipment on the same in one thing. It did my head in. I was so annoyed. Oh, don't, Jake. I was not happy at all. Stood there at the end thinking, why did I go? Hey, it made a good video, mate. It made a good video. Spurs. I don't know who's going to fix Tottenham Hotspurs. Except someone needs to fix Tottenham Hotspurs. It needs a fresh squad. It's knackered. It needs a fresh squad, and I think if they keep the ownership they've got now, it's never going to happen. Ever going to happen. But like I was saying earlier, I think this is the first time you can look at a Sheffield Wednesday team and not see many Carlos signings in it. Let's have a look at first team. Honestly, come to the conclusion don't even want to win a trophy. Yeah, but That's not true, Lee. The ones who want to win trophies are the ones that want to win like Player of the Month or Fan Player trophies. They're hey up, Bob. 1, 2, 3. How you doing, mate? Their trophy cabinet's just barren. They've got one trophy from ages ago, and that's about it. It's just like you hear. There's at some point got to be a pointless answer, hasn't it? Like on that quiz show, because they just do it. They wreck people bets because they're just like, yeah, they're bad. We're talking about a bit of everything tonight, mate. We talked about Darren Moore's 2-year being here. We talked about football gran. We talked about how many players are out the squad who are not Carlos players. Yep, players. That was weird. Players. Because if you actually look at our squad, Dawson, Hunt technically, but he left, so we can't count Hunt. No, yeah. The last player of Carlos era is Barry Bannon. Go win that. Oh, out of the Carlos era, who would I have back? Gary Hooper. Gary Hooper with a shadow of a doubt. Gary Hooper he knew where the net was, didn't he? He absolutely knew where the net was. Yeah, I would have Gary Hooper back. I would have probably had Alex Lopez as well. If we could have signed him, that would have been unreal. My ideal football ground's a bit weird. I like having a chili dog if they sell them. I like hot dog with like chili con carne on it. If they sell it. Oh, Manuelson. Mr. I play didn't he play like 45 minutes and that was it? Oh, yeah. Oh, he can get in the sea along with Alvin Abdi. The only thing Alvin Abdi did was score that screamer against Sodding Forest. And that was all we saw of him. Yeah. We all got really excited about that one, didn't we? We were like, oh, we can do this. Same, I think he was at the out-and-out best striker I've seen play for us. And what about Fred? True. Roth Wallace was good. Roth Wallace was very good, actually. I did like Roth Wallace. It was interesting, though. Some of his interviews that have come out in the past have been quite interesting. Where is Roth Wallace now? I know he was wasn't he a coach at Burnley? Oh, best season. I'll be honest with you, mate. I haven't had many Barnsley home or away games that I haven't been absolutely smashed. I'm not gonna lie. Most of the time, if we're a Barnsley one, because it close by to me both games, I get a bit sloshed. If I'm honest, and I watch way too much football. Izzy Brown when fit, yes. But not now. Izzy Brown when he was fit and a little bit decent, yeah. When he was really the Izzy Brown of old. I told you who I noticed the other day, who's doing really well and didn't really do well at us. Remember Lewis? Was it Lewis? Lewis Baker. Lewis Baker, I think he's at Stoke. Never really did out for us. Ruined the relationship we have with Chelsea for a little bit. Because we didn't play him. And now I think he's at Stoke and playing like regular football. Actually, lads, what football is on tonight? because I haven't checked, Guy. Is there any football on tonight? I might watch some football while playing Farming Simulator because I'm sad. I've got a field to plough. Hull City versus West Brom. That could be a good game. That could be a good game. What's on over the weekend? Cardiff, Bristol City. Some good games actually this weekend, isn't there? Where are you off to this weekend, Lee? I forgot to ask. Where are you off to this weekend for your game? I know you've done a lot this week. What game are you going to? Adam Reach does go worldy, but it's a shame he's just not really gone anything. Oh, that's right, you're going with Ian, aren't you? Yeah. I'll be interested to see how that game goes. Just to see what Ainsworth can do with QPR. Grimsby versus Newport on Tuesday night. That's a good game. With how Grimsby are doing as well. Grimsby to knock Southampton out's a huge result. Absolute huge result, that. I told you one place I'd like to go and do a game at. I'd love to go do Borussia Dortmund and just experience the yellow wall. That would be awesome. And I'd love to have been able to done a Milan derby at the San Siro. Kind of thing. It's just one of those things. If I had the money, I'd just go watch football a lot. Like, just pick places to go and just go watch a load of football. It's Dortmund tonight as well, isn't it? When Norwood come to Barnsley, someone will say, what is the best joke? And he says Sheffield Wednesday. Oh, I'll let you have that one, Jay. That's my bucket list game. I'd done Milan last September. Really? Was it good? Oh, what a game. What a game. It's just, there's something about those old stadiums that are just superb, and you don't get it anymore. And I know my uncle goes to quite a lot of the time to Sweden, and he talks about that and talks about how Sweden got really good grounds. YouTube in general is a pricey hobby, mate. Before you had to go into grounds and stuff. I think you picked two of the most expensive hobbies going: YouTube and football ground hopping, especially with how the price of petrol is these days. You must love being in your car a lot, mate. Right, lads, I've been going for an hour. I'm gonna go and first, I'm gonna go get some more food because I made myself hungry with Gran, sadly. And I think I'm gonna go watch some football and see what's going on. Oh, Dortmund are beating Leipzig at the minute. Also, I'll be watching some of the Grand Prix this weekend because I love F1. There's something about F1 that's really good. It takes me back to being a kid and watching it with my grandma. So that'll be good. Yeah. So thank you for watching the... No. Thank you for watching this video and this live stream even. I'm all over the place. I much appreciate it. It's been a good one. And I will try and keep these on a Friday when I can. And hopefully we'll be talking more good things about Wednesday. And there might be a surprise on Sunday. Haven't decided yet. Maybe a surprise on Sunday. Okay, Ryan. Okay, we're going both. Actually, your account came out today, didn't it? Anyway, guys, I'm going to call it quits and I'm going to go have some more food. I'm going to go watch some football and I'm probably going to go play farming because I'm a little bit sad. I love my F1 too. Coming Aston Martin. Yes, Aston Martin this season looked really good. All right, guys, see you later. See you in the next one. Bye.